to when he dropped down to the floor. No, just down to 10% HP. Okay, cheeky. A lot of pretty brutal EMP zones right now. There's an EMP zone over towards test track, which is sort of hindering the escape right now for still stage 1, about 3 minutes remaining, so they have a lot of time to get out of here. On the other side of things, though, you have an EMP the center of the zone around where Weibo's playing. It seems the EMP zone is determined to ruin the chances for Chinese squads.
They disappear though. They're out of the way. Fine, and immediately, yeah, they're out of there. It's going time. They knew about it. There is another EMP zone out to the west that's just about to spawn as well, Blank. So could not be more timely.
Yeah, get yourself out of here nice and quick. I respect that from True Rippers. Just want to remove yourself from test track. Quite a few fans out there looking for a strong performance from this team. They do have some of the most shiny names on side, and arguably the best player of all time on the team order. The best player of all time.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think he is obviously a phenomenal player. But if he's so good, why wasn't he in the gauntlet? Why didn't he get through that way, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Thunder Talk were pretty damn good, let's be honest. So, yeah, can't blame him too much.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Ooh, True Rippers lose the player. But remember, the majority of their team, sure, they're sending towards the middle of the circle right now, but Jelly, up on that north side, north of Jiaotin, actually, a very, very long way away, almost 3 kilometers away from this rotate that we're seeing, we'll be able to get those recalls on.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad play, to be honest with you. I think splitting off here between two sides. I mean, you were late to the circle anyway, because you were locked in. Possible. We saw another... honestly, Group Red's a cool lobby. It has a lot of really cool names in it. I mean, we got Lord here as well on Twisted Minds. Another fantastic player. Yeah, I think Group Green was definitely the group of death, but there is a lot of famous players in Group Red.
It's looking pretty stylish right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, look, he definitely, in terms of accolades, he stands head and shoulders above the rest of them. They are all still very decorated, but it is definitely, you know, he's in a different strata when it comes to that. But they absolutely dropped the ball back in the Gauntlet stage. We were very disappointed with them. We were looking in Group Red, and maybe they'll get one of the top 3, or maybe they'll have to join the Falcons over in Last Chance and keep them company there. For now, they have a central position, and hopefully they can do something with it this time around in the group stages.
Yeah, I think for Regdrisk, he was taking quite a bit of damage from it. I was like, come on, this is kind of ridiculous. But we're fine. We're fine. We're just grabbing all the loot we can from that position.
That's fair, you know. Grab it while it's hot, grab it while it's out of arm's reach of pretty much everyone else. Everyone already condensed to this next circle, pretty much. The Zims. Kind of for Rondo, this isn't as many as we've seen in the past, certainly, right? What is that? You've got 9 elims earned so far. I feel like we've seen bigger tallies before these recall beacons shut off. There is still a little bit of time before they shut off, but yeah, that's maybe quieter than I was led to believe.
Do you see it? Do you see
I see it. You guys at home can see it as well if you open the map feed, which is on the YouTube channel.
It's gone.
You missed it.
You did miss it. We had a Mickey Mouse circle. It is getting a little bit Mickey towards the center right now. You do have a lot of this terrain that you got to pass through, and then towards the north side of Rinjiang, like a little bit of area with buildings, etc., to push on by. It's tough.
But unfamiliar terrain as well for a lot of these teams, right? Sure, they'll have played it a bunch, but nowhere near as much as on Erangel, on Miramar. It'll be a little bit less familiar, and with this new lobby, with the new setup, it's going to be even harder. Maybe the Gauntlet teams will be afforded an advantage.
Speaking about things that are new, just want to quickly remind everyone that we do have a you're cruel production. We do have a slightly different graphic on the right side of our screen there in terms of the leaderboard. Instead of the eliminations popping up from time to time, we have decided they will be immediately added to the points total. So you won't have to worry about adding anything up. It'll be right there in front of your eyes.
I believe as well, when a team gets eliminated, those placement points will also get added to their points tally. On Versus Pro, we're going to add a couple of points to their tally with a roll up to E Arena right now. 2 cars slam into the side of the rock, and Joker backs off. Tony K on the back line, looking to hold it down, but Aragon's got the MG3. Ooh, is going to be backed off though. I think he heard the pin on the nade, and Joker's got an MG3 of his own.
We'll back off this one. This is always a down Jimmy from Alliance, but you got Iftar and Olio underneath, but he's still going strong though from this balcony.
Oh, Molotov though on the wood as well. There's no way there's no way. Surely the spread gets him there. Okay, yeah, he's out of position. Will have to move. Surely he's not going to be able to get the healing. Group red, and maybe First Pro will be not too long for it either. E Arena as well. Good find a nade sent their way, and they're certainly going to try their best to dodge them. One on the trades, and there's another one. Oscon in the smoke, moving forwards, getting the flush as well. And NC2 nowhere to be seen. Sakura from up on high can only watch on as his teammates get obliterated.
Big thumbs up to Sakura there. But yeah, that looked like a much better fight, but falling down to a player basically crawling through the smoke in the front lines, a little bit concerning. I definitely want to see more of the Arena. There's a lot of talk online about how this team has a lot of strength in them and they can push further into this tournament. But again, there is quite a few other squads here inside this lobby who all are
not as powerful as they needed to be. PK as well. They root time here either against the South Africans right now. They are just down to 1 player. But it's not going well for either of these 2 squads. They have both taken heavy casualties, and they're not, but only for the next few minutes, Blank. The time is ticking away.
Yeah, Reverb's going to send out as well. Both teams rotating side by side. That's cool and all, getting the quick switch. Cover flares. It's not ideal and doesn't look as cool. Okay, it's still a knock, which is fun, but yeah, that's not the idea that we wanted to see happening.
Use of that cover that was deployed in the open battlegrounds in those later circles really started to actually have a bigger impact than we've seen when you look back towards the regional stages, the qualifiers for PMGC. So it's potentially just obliterated on the approach by everybody. Well, it seems actually mostly by Influence Rage, but there are a lot of other teams taking shots out their way. That was not a super great kickoff for True Rippers.
I think they got slightly cut off on either side to beat. Circle moves up. We do have a fielded area here, and it's for quite a few teams that have to pass through it. Particularly Regnum Kai, I'm kind of worried for their position, but they do find a shot over towards Havlik from Boars, and I think Havlik's a great player to remove from that team if you're going to be fighting them soon, because Havlik is a fantastic player when it...
Yeah, Boars just getting roasted out in the open there, on the open campfire. I mean, this is a team that, to be honest, Blank, I'm not expecting great things from, right? Boars came into this one. They didn't even qualify for the finals of their region. They came through on points on it because they were the only team that had played in both the spring and the fall season. For me, Boars have a lot to prove, and it's just not coming through, certainly in this first match. Maybe they'll have something more to say later.
My God, dude, it's like game 1. You're already ripping them to pieces.
Hey, man, they did it to themselves, you know?
That's bad to even me. Even for my standards, that's bad. Can't be doing that. But I agree, Bob.
Yeah, they're going to be shaky at best, I think. Good to get the experience on board, right? Maybe. But I think this is a 15th or 16th place team.
Yeah, I think for Boars, they do have good players on side. It's a little bit sad for me watching that team because there's a lot of names that I recognize on that squad and have casted for many years. For instance, Cause is quite a good player, but yeah, I think Boars just they don't have the full package, and a lot of teams here at PMGC they already have the full package in terms of the rotations, the team fight macro, the gun skill, and I think Boars is lacking in some of those areas.
Ooh, Alliance playing around those cover flares as well. Arcred looking, not that any of them would really be accessible at this point anyway, so we'll have to play on with 3 for them for the time being. Kai on the south side, not too much to work with, and they have to keep pushing across this open area towards that E-Arena dominant high ground you can see in the background there.
At the moment, I think Tony K's been playing that early game quite strongly and then transitioning well into the late game for E-Arena. Some great nades from Sakura. He just was confident in his position. Weibo, though, up against FL. As the nades start to fly on through, and this is one thing that Weibo has always been fantastic at, is placing
picture-in-picture. If you guys want to keep up to date with that, take a look over there. But Weibo still going in for this fight, keeping the pressure up. Man of the hour, Order. You said you want to see a lot from him. He's jumping up, he's hopping around, but it's the nades coming on through. The hero who's able to land that extra knock and keep this pressure up against Team Flash. There's an answer, but again, it's not going to quite connect. Order does go down, though, and they still have barrels pointed. Needs to stand up, and will be able to find one, but there's still 2 more on the inside to deal with. Hero is down, Order completely flushed away. There's off angles starting to come through from Arcred as well, and this is going to get nasty. I don't think anyone's making it out here. The question is who gets the points.
Way bad? I'm kind of confused about that push a little bit. I like the initial start to it. I think they had to finish it quickly. I think he is on a big win at the moment, holding off 2 separate squads. Finally, Souk will finish off at least one of those teams. Oh, come on, look behind you, look behind you, look behind you. Please look behind you. Oh!
Hitting him with the pantomime plays right there. Team Flash was behind him the whole time. Oh, no. Win, able to be the only survivor of that engagement. Send it to comrades. Oh, you love to see it. But you do need to get a move on.
All right, that's a loot goblin. That's a damn loot goblin.
Just 2 more first aids and then I'm fine.
I love it. I love it. I'm a kind of a loot goblin as well, so I respect it. I know Max, man. Max Man's the worst loot goblin in the world. Don't need it.
Max, he needs the cheat pad. It makes his shots more stable. Ooh. 1 player left for the RXs. Ragnarkaya have been successful in their campaign to push up north from their south edge, up to 6 elims now, and they get rid of the last player for DRX. Silas, though, does get spotted. So does Zedwolf. Ooh, that is nasty, and that's E-Arena. Nades coming through from Influence Rage. Immediately take them down. Not so successful anymore, Blank. Wild and Loxy, the last 2 to remain.
A very awkward location, but it works. It really does work. They're expending so many smokes, though, to make this happen. But they have a central spot, and it looks good right now. I did not expect Alliance to get this far into the game, but they have. Doing quite well off the back of it. I mean, only 3 players, but still going strong. Now, I'd like to see a win out of E-Arena. I would love to see a win out of E-Arena.
Yeah, it would be good. And the high ground that they've been afforded by this, I mean, it's basically... I have his ammo. Okay, he's still got another clip behind him. I think he's going to have to descend. Well, he will have to descend after he runs out. But they've got 10 elims already, Blank.
Yeah, it's great. The Sakura with the 8 of them, like you say, it's nuts. I think they can push further on this one. Again, it was strange because, like I said, there's a huge amount of talk around E-Arena saying this team was gonna bang coming out from SEA. Snade. What was that? That was from up top as well. What? I'm gonna stop talking. I'm just gonna let them put on the show right now because it looks sublime.
And I mean, this is one hell of a way to kick off your group stages, right? A big rondo. That is absolutely what you're looking for to start off the day, to start off your group. And on the south side, I mean, who's going to stand up to them here? The circle helps them out even more. I mean, they have been helped a lot by the circle and that high ground the Sakura's been on. Sure, now you have to drop it back down, but I think as Joe
wasn't gifted. It wasn't like just sat here and there was like, oh, the circle's going to us each time. They fought against VP. They've cleared teams out in front of them. I think they've not played this badly. And I like this push out from Tony K as well. You know, this is very proactive. They know that it's fielded area down towards the south side. You don't realistically want to just let teams wander to that point.
Yeah, you want to keep them all locked in a really uncomfortable situation if you can. And Tony K's flex out. I mean, Godspeed spotted it. But will he be quick enough on the trigger? That's the question. Win that challenge, even if he is. That doesn't mean the timing, as he's able to get another one. Flushed out by Tony K, but that Elin is attributed to Sakura for getting that initial knock. Regnum Kaya up into 4th place, but maybe not going any further. Those nades from Influence Rage have been brutal to Regnum Kaya.
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, Wild is doing wild things. Will just try and drop a first aid kit, trying to live longer than teams around him, but it's looking like a 4th place to me personally, unless things get really difficult over towards BG. But I don't think they'll go down first. Surely not. No. So Wild does get a 3rd place. Well played.
Oh, nice. Healing it out. Getting that 3rd place. Brilliant stuff. Influence Rage with Lil Boy down. Now the only team that stands in E-Arena. 11 eliminations this match, Blank. A lot of them were up on the high ground, but he's got, I think, at least 3 since he's come back down. Grabbed a lot more ammo. And Influence Rage, I mean, there's nowhere really that they can move where E-Arena won't fully know exactly what's going on. The difficulty and the vulnerability is, I mean, exactly that, right? They are very split, so could potentially be vulnerable to that.
I mean, Influence Rage, if they can win this game, it will be a comeback to start things off. But it's very unlikely. I think what they've set up here really does show off like the cool aspects of Rondo, in my opinion. Let's see how things do pan out as we are getting in towards our final zone very shortly.
They've been bled through. Tony K. A cheeky little peek out the side there. Diego can't connect, and neither can Tony K. The regroup comes through from E-Arena, and Influence Rage are going to have to leave their stronghold. As Little Boy steps out, the smokes are starting to fade as well. Up into the trees, up into the vehicles. It's going central next, Blank. The open hillside, I mean, E-Arena probably have to move a little bit later. I don't know if they've got any more flares, though.
I think that peak's bad. That peak is just categorically bad, where the circle hasn't even started to push in yet. You're challenging a team that has cover right now. Luckily, you've got Byakuya Kuchiki here with the Senbon Sakura in action right now for the squad on the arena.
Have you put a curse on me? What's going on? My goodness me. I'm sure Maxman knows. I'll ask him afterwards.
27 points in the back pocket. It's a blossoming game here for E-Arena.
Absolutely beautiful. What a way to kick things off. And I think that might be a record for a single player, Blank. Sakura able to do so much on his own. Well, I say on his own with the protection underneath. How much damage.
The Eye of Sauron has entered the battlefield here with...
If he saw you, well, your survival time would go down to like 5 seconds. Unfortunately, you don't want to be encountered with Sakura. He had 11 eliminations at a portion of this game here. Sakura was putting on an absolute clinic from the high ground. And he was not just only getting eliminations right, Nipchar. He was also giving valuable information to his teammates to get really strong positions, transition points in the later stages of that game.
massive amounts of damage there. 1,400 damage. But I tell you what, every knockout he's getting, he's confirming as well. Some really good stuff there. And I want to point out as well what I loved seeing there in that transition point between being up on that mountain to having to now fight in the end zone, right? Was the mobility. They switched so quickly. They were ready for that transition. It was not, oh, we're going to be up on the mountain and then, oh no, what do we do with...
I think that's literally one of the highest damage taken stats I've ever seen. I don't know if you've seen higher, but of course, because Rondo got the recall, but oh my god, that's
those
high.
Stats are wild. Okay, 757 damage taken, 837 damage done, and 1 elimination. That is by far the craziest stats. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, yeah, here to do that by himself is just wild, especially for the first game of Group Red, Max.
Yeah, first game of Group Red. Again, absolute cinema being provided here. I'm really happy with some of these fights we did see in the mid-stage portion of this match.
Yeah, they really did. You have to challenge that kind of position early on, and if no one does it, or if you lose that challenge, then that just solidifies that team even more. After that, there was not really much chance of really challenging them and getting them out of that position. So EA hunkered down. Go for it.
Right off the rip here. All right, well, EA, ridiculous amount of eliminations and the chicken dinner. During the gauntlet, right, all 3 days combined, they had 74 points, guys. In their first match here in Group Red.
I mean, you know what? I love that for them. I love that for them. Yes, because I think we were expecting so much more in the gauntlet stage with them, right? We were thinking E-Arena is going to be one of those top teams, and they just weren't. So now, coming into Group Red and seeing them put up such a performance, it's like, finally, E-Arena is back, Max.
Matt Rondo, sorry, Team Secret, but... probably at the airport, so they can't fight back. Whatever. Anyways, Influence Rage, also really good performance here. Able to survive against the likes of Regnum. Burmese Ghouls, also really good hold on that southern position, low ground position. Really happy with their performance. And Burmese Ghouls, actually, Niptra, way more silent than I would have liked to see passive. And that scares me a little bit because passive, would it be enough for you to be in top 3? Not quite. So I want to see more presence from this team eventually.
I mean, they are generally a more compact team, so I think they probably are going to keep to themselves a little bit, but I don't hate it for the first game, right? Especially when it's a Rondo, it's still a little bit unsure about how the lobby's really going to be playing that. So I don't hate it for the first game, but yeah, we definitely need to see a little bit of a step up and more eliminations. No one did that. There's just no beating this guy in this map, at least.
Yeah, we're probably not going to see that for the rest of the Group Red, to be honest. I mean, that's just a crazy, crazy day, you know? So, I mean, for him to bust that out in game number 1, it's got to be so hype for EA. Like, I did the official math, it's 36% of their total points from the gauntlet in just one presence, right? That big improvement from gauntlet to here, and that's the advantage, right? If you're in the gauntlet, you get a little bit more time under your belt to come in strong. They understand how important Rondo is here, and they really took full advantage of it, Max.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to talk about a team in particular we didn't highlight just yet, which is going to be Alliance. They went for position. I think some people might look at this game and think, oh, that road dip. Oh, so long this game. I was really happy about it. The main issue was, of course, Sakura on top of that rock mountain. That was going to be an issue. But outside of that, Alliance, for me, had a great macro game, positionally speaking. So it gets me excited to see what their rotations will look like going into the other 2 maps on today's matches.
Yeah, for sure. The other team that I was actually really impressed, Split going, and then they had a really quick regroup, and were trying to third-party the Flash WBG fight as well. And I really liked how mobile they were. They were surrounding that fight. They were trying to get all the best angles. They seemed like macro-wise, they seemed like a really switched on. They were really doing a great job there. So I'm excited for them as well in the next wrangle.
Yeah, I think Alliance, that nade, right? By the way, so sick. I mean, from the high ground, rocket launching it all the way down, he laced it. And then he had an earlier one, right? Where he got those, he wiped out Virtus Pro. All 3 players with 1 nade from that high ground position. So that is just crazy to see. But you know what? Another good nade onto 2 of their players, but then he ended up pushing out by himself, got knocked eventually. But it's good to see Weibo, you know, with a good fight at the start here.
I really respected the approach actually from Flash, trying to leapfrog the position in the compound itself against Weibo. That was a really good idea. Then it got a little bit messy, Niptura, I would say. There was a very good idea at first, but then it got down to like some 1v1 fights, some 1v2s. It was a little bit all over the place. And I actually did really respect what Arcred were trying to pull off, which is third party, just a player north, a player south, try and get a little bit involved in that conversation. But Win, unfortunately, had the final word there in that fight, and he was able to survive the entire compound fight.
Messy, because we did see that Flash went all in and then immediately stepped back, and I almost want to say that they used those cover flares on the corner to actually kind of bait WBG, to bait them out and just kind of push them out a little bit into a more compromised position, and then they were able to take them out more easily, because as soon as Weibo pushed out, it got really messy really quickly. If it hadn't been for Acred, I think Flash would have won that more decisively. So I kind of want to give them the benefit of the doubt there just a little bit, but otherwise, yeah, it was a really interesting fight. I might want to go back and look at that again because it was interesting.
I do think you highlight a very good point, because we saw the Flash took some heavy casualties really quickly. Radio win, to some extent maybe, but not quite the win they were looking for here, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, you know what? Match number one. I always say match number one in a tournament like this, you get I like to call it the Hot Jukes excuse card. I'll give a little punch for it, all right? You got to get warmed up. Crazy things are happening, you know? EA definitely didn't use that. That's for sure. They went out crazy. But you know what it is for the first game. But we're going into Aaron Gale here now. That excuse card is over, okay? Looking at some of the potential drops that we have, Max, right? I am looking here. I don't think there's a big chance we're going to see one. One that could be interesting, though, at least in my eyes, is that Primorsk and Yasnaya area, right? There's a good chance that we're going to see. Those are two different drop locations for Flash and Influence Rage. So both their main and backup spots are pretty much in the same spot here. I think that could make things interesting.
It could. I mean, if it goes in Yasnaya Polyana, Yasnaya, as we all know, big enough city, right? Hot Jukes for two teams to coexist. If you're if you don't have too big an ego and you're willing to share, then it shouldn't be an issue. But Primorsk, I mean, Niptura, Primorsk hot drop, you can't share Primorsk. I know we drop Primorsk quite a bit in our Ultimate Royale games. If there's a team there, 99% of the time, it is going to be a hot drop. So if you do go for a fight there, I think it is going to be resulting one team getting instantly squad wiped in that position.
Yeah, I think it's really got to be. There's just not enough room, and often just the loot, you can't get the loot you need fast enough when it comes to how small it is, right? So I would think Influence Rage probably, if they do think that they're going to get hot drop there, that you see a third location here, Quarry. They probably do a 2-2 split here normally, but if Flash is going to try and hot drop them, just go to Quarry and do a Quarry split, and they should be fine.
Should be fine indeed. Well, you know what, man? I want to hear from the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the last match, right? He had the high ground, right? Sakura. So I know we're about to hear from him and the 7WG. They're getting that ready. So, man, what a crazy game number one. Game number two is coming up any second now. But let's go ahead and take it on over to the stage to hear from the 7WG at Sakura.
Welcome to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm joined by Sakura from EA. They just had an stellar performance. I want to pick your brain a little bit. What was the biggest change that you guys made from the Gauntlet here to Group Red?
อะไรคือการเปลี่ยนแปลงที่ใหญ่ที่สุดจากรอบกอนเลตมารอบกรุ๊ปเรดกรุ๊ปแดงก็พยายามเล่นให้ใจเย็นกว่าเดิมครับเพราะว่ารอบกันเลตที่เราเล่นคือเราเล่นรีบร้อนไปหน่อยครับทำให้เสียง่ายครับ So we try to play more calm because in the gauntlet stage we rushed our timing too much and made us like die easily.
Well, that makes sense. You guys played it out perfectly too, and making sure that you cleared the North of Alliance. Some little quick stats for you guys. In the gauntlet, this team was averaging about a 10th place to 2 to 3 ilms. Today, first place, 17 ilms. Now, looking around here in this group red, is there any team that you're looking at that maybe is going to cause you some trouble throughout the days?
ในกลุ่มแดงกลุ่มนี้คิดว่ามีทีมไหนไหมที่อาจจะเป็นปัญหาให้ทีมเราก็ตอนนี้ยังไม่มีครับ Right now we have no teams that are going to be a problem for us.
All right, well, hey, right now 11 LMs to you. Great performance. This is not looking like a 16th place team. I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's a fact. Goodness gracious, right? I love that shout too, right? Saying that, you know what, we were rushing our timing just a little bit too much. And that's where, I mean, we talk about it all the time, just how imperative these nerves are to these players. You know, you're at such a big stage. You've worked all year to get here. You're not in the comfort of your own house anymore, Neptura, right? So it's understandable why some of these teams will be a little bit quick to jump the gun on certain decisions. I'm glad that they realized that and calm things down here. It definitely worked, that's for sure, for match number 1.
It sure did, right? Yeah, it's interesting because looking over my notes, you know, you go that E-Arena are actually really instant to rotate. They always are ahead of the zone when it comes to those zone shifts and trying to rotate as quickly as possible. So it's interesting that they say they're rushing, because if you're rushing instant rotates, you are really, really quick. So it is nice that they've adapted to the lobby, especially these teams. You know, they've done their research, figured out what they want to do, and just slowed it right down. And yeah, like you said, I mean, they slowed it right down to the point of having one singular position basically the whole match, and it really, really worked.
I like during the interviews, like, oh, we just played calm, a little bit slower. I'm like, bro, you just got a 17 elimination chicken dinner. What's slow about that? what's calm about that? I think he's just a humble king, Hodrick. Just a humble king. He's like, don't worry, we'll make it fine. But actually, we're the best team in the lobby, and right now they proved it. They're the kings of Rondo because, well, you only have one Rondo per day. Because now it's a wrangle coming up. Let's go.
Let's get it going to the grassy pastures. Let's get match number 2 started. It's Aaron Gale, John Allen, Blank. Are we going to see another player get double-digit eliminations today?
Today? I don't think we'll see it for the rest of the tournament. We'll probably won't see it for the rest of the year, Blank. I'll go as far as that. That was something special from Sakura, assisted by the rest of E-Arena and a little bit by the Circle. But beautiful stuff nonetheless to kick things off. A massive lead earned by E-Arena very early on. And they'll need it. Moving in, there'll be plenty of teams looking to take that top spot from them. Plane path from the west coast down towards Novo, Blank. A little bit hard on the south side.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very difficult plane for the south side, and there was a lot of talk about Primos there in terms of the drop on that side with the flash as well as the influence rage. There's a chance that influence rage just picks up quarry, which would make sense as well, instead of going far down towards Primorsk. I am curious to see where the flash do end up though. Balls in the meantime going to go for the very peer split.
Yeah, looks like, Primorsk going to be just the one team and actually dropping a little bit short to split around that quarry area to grab those vehicles for Influence Rage, get them on the road nice and fast. The Circle yet to reveal itself. Looks like Team Flash, they're currently out towards Potato Hill, just heading over farm. And we are going west with the Circle, so maybe they wish they would have gone back to that southwest side, but the access there for Influence Rage up the west coast will be nice and quick. A lot of teams out onto the military island as well. 3 currently taking up residence. You've got Burmese Ghouls as well as VP and GK all on the island.
Do you know what I always find very interesting is that you finish group green and you come into group red. Now, if you're a melee-based team, it's a weird one now, right? Where if you're Burmese Ghouls, you're trying to think to yourself whether it's a good idea to continue playing this drop spot or try and figure out somewhere else to play. Because even if you do make it into the grand finals, you're fighting for your drop spot between you and arguably the best team in the lobby right now, right? What will be arguably the best team in the lobby in Alpha Gaming. So do you think about changing your drop spot, or do you just play things out for the time being and then figure that out when you get into grand finals? And right now just try and get into the top 3 from this position.
I mean, that's a big win, right?
I know, right? It really is.
It needs you to qualify towards those grand finals because they won't be in last chance, remember? So that contest won't be there if you're able to get to that last chance stage, which will be potentially interesting. So maybe that's what they're relying on. And finals is sort of like the gravy on the meal for them if they're able to get there. Not to say that they're not capable of it. They absolutely are. But I think all things considered, there are more likely candidates right now. Certainly candidates that people would say are more favorite to be getting through in the spots that we have available here and in that last chance stage. It'll be a difficult road to run. So for now, I think focus on what you can do, what you know. If what you know best is that military base area, go for it. I don't think you need to worry too much about that.
Yeah.
For now. For now.
A little PSA for everyone watching. For Twisted Minds, if you weren't aware, 4YDO is pronounced Chudo. So if you hear me talk about Chudo, it's that guy. So I know that's thrown me off before, about 2 years ago. So hopefully that helps some of you guys at home if you're not familiar with that region too much. But they got Walsh on board. Overall, pretty damn good team is Twisted Minds. I think they have some very good players on side and can go very far with that team. I think that right now, I would say they play Pachinki better than the Falcons do, personally.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, at the moment, what we've discovered about how the Falcons play Pachinki is get out of there as fast as you can and don't play it at all. It works better for them. So you might be right on that one.
GK down towards the southeast side. Another Abnoya. Bit of a journey up towards the north, but should be okay. They are cut off by quite a few teams. That's purely because of the plane path, which cuts down towards the southeast. With True Rippers playing in Milter, which I think is a pretty damn good spot to start from. It gives you a lot of options. On this circle, it's not so great, obviously, because you do have to move off to the west and pass through farm. But I imagine Alliance will leave at some point to try and get that crossing. Boars moved early off of Ferry Pier towards the north side, around Geka.
Trying to get in towards the center here. I mean, we've seen quite a lot of circles end up towards Everest, around those Gatka fields, right? Back in Gauntlet, and I think quite a bit into Group Green as well. Looks like Group Red will have their fair share. Are we going to get more Everest finishes? Is anyone actually going to go up to the top of Everest? And is anyone going to go to the compound that, certainly for a match or two, nobody seemed to want to go to on that south point of Everest, overlooking those Gatka fields? Right now, looks like Regnum Kai are looking to go up the mountain. Twisted Minds, they transition from Pachinki to a compound a little bit further along the way. We'll see where everyone else pulls up as well.
Yeah, again, this is what I love, because I think if you watch Team Falcons, they would have played Church. They would have 100% played Church on this circle, and they would have been slow to the center. I think the Twisted Minds they have a better understanding of how to take advantage of this central position. I like it. I like it a lot. They're playing a little bit of a lineup right now, which cuts out teams coming through from Ruins, so it's a good split. Weibo coming in from that north side. That's from North George, just heading over the top of Everest at the moment. But we do have a lot of teams already fairly central on this one. Teams who did get cut out by the plane early have yet to move. And fair enough to them, because it's a long journey in. It's likely you're going to be playing Edge for a while. So that's teams like True Rippers, Burmese Ghouls, Geek, Virtus Pro as well, all the way towards Lipovka.